Alright, bro, look. When you think of characters who just went through hell and suffered the most, a couple of characters are immediately at the top of that list. Like my dog Guts, Subaru, and probably that guy from SpongeBob with glass bones and paper skin. But a character which I am so mad that not a lot of people knows about is Hyakkimaru from Dororo. Man's had the worst circumstances from birth I have ever heard of. Let me explain to you just how bad Hyakkimaru had it from birth. Hyakkimaru's father is a feudal lord, which is great, but his land, it sucks, bro. He can't grow nothing. He can't get no rain anywhere. Bro, it's just the worst. So bro decides to make a deal with these 12 demons, offering up his firstborn son. Mind you, they told him his son's gonna have a horrible life, if any at that. But bro just wanted to make some bread. Anywho, some time passes and his land is thriving. But it's time for the birth of his first son. And if you wanna call this a baby, go ahead. I don't know what that is. This kid was born with no limbs, no ears or anything, and no skin. Bro came to look and was flabbergasted at what he was holding. He didn't want this kid, so he was like, hey bro, throw this nigga down the river. And so that's what they did. But luckily for Hyakkimaru, he was picked up, raised, and given swords for arms. And ladies and gentlemen, this was the start of the greatest get back in anime history. The first demon he runs up on is this nasty sludge monster who gobbled a dude, like ass out and everything. It's also where we meet this kid, Dororo, which Hyakkimaru ended up saving. Anywho, bro pulled out the blades and immediately started squabbling. That shit was on sight. He cut the pillars of the bridge that the demon was fighting him on and made its nasty ass crumble. No cookies. Now a quick reminder that Hyakkimaru is blind as fuck, because the demons not only took his eyes, ears, and nose and all that other stuff, but they also took his senses. So bro can't taste, hear, feel, or see anything, but he can see somebody's aura and determine whether they're evil or not. And after killing that demon, he gained his skin back. After realizing that, bro said it's on sight with any other demons he run into. And the next demon that he ran into was, is that Envy from FMA? Either way, it doesn't matter what kind of demon it is, cause bro immediately squared up to fight it. Mans was jumping on the walls like Spider-Man. And even though he got hit, bro wasn't flinching. And Dororo was confused at this, until the old man told her, hey, yeah bro, this nigga can't feel anything. By the way, this is the person that raised Hyakkimaru, this old blind swordsman. Anywho, he got close to the thing and slashed its eyes out. But as he goes to attack it, this fucking simp decides to throw a drape on this man. What? Does that look like a lady to you? Anywho, it hauls ass, so Hyakkimaru chases after it. Meanwhile, the other two looks at the dude and are like, the hell wrong with you letting that thing get away? Look at this nigga's face, bruh. Like, you just know you fucked up and should get smacked with the 2,000 hammer blows and have wasabi shoved up your nose for this egregious act. Anyways, bruh, Hyakkimaru chases it into a bamboo forest, which bro ended up getting pinned with some bamboo. The demon lurks on top of this dude, ready to end his attacker, but bro got distracted by the sound of a bell made by this big-headed ass spirit. And that was enough time for Hyakkimaru to escape, leap in the air, and next thing this demon knows is he has a sword inside his forehead. And bro got sliced up. Well, now we know who this lady they were talking about. It was this nigga's tail. The bitch started making threats, so Hyakkimaru stabs it in between the eyes, not giving two fucks about its monologue. And look at this simp over here, bruh. Anywho, Hyakkimaru ended up getting his pain receptors back from that kill. Unfortunate. Anywho, the next demon he runs up on is this dude. Nah, not him, the sword. The sword is the evil one. Anywho, they start squaring up. Hyakkimaru is blocking hits, and bro decides to pull this off. Mans was really out here aura farming in the rain, bruh. The sister comes outside to plead for her brother, which is the guy wielding the sword. But from the look of this nigga's face, bruh, he is gone, dog. Like, you're not getting him back. Bro tries to attack from behind, only to get styled on by Hyakkimaru and got cut up. The sister's all sad and shit, but Hyakkimaru did what he had to do, bruh. And from that kill, Hyakkimaru gained his ears back to hopefully go listen to that new Mouse, baby, yes sir. But that shit's gonna have to wait, cause right now he's fighting this big ass spider creature. What part of Australia did this thing come from? That thing got him dodging for his life, looking like me when I play Elden Ring, with the amount of panic dodges I somehow managed to do. That bitch trying to eat this man feet first, but ended up with a blade in its mouth instead. Hyakkimaru jumps in the air and slices its head clean off, ending its miserable life. His dad was not happy after that kill, cause the rain stopped. God damn it, what is this kid doing? This nigga about to send us back to the Dark Ages. By the way, he ended up getting his legs back from that kill. But the next horror that this man had to face was this giant ass centipede demon. Bro tried using a bow, but that wasn't very effective. So he decides to get up close and personal, bringing the demon down. But like our Lord and Savior, The Undertaker himself, this thing did not stay down, smacking the fuck out of Hyakkimaru and putting him on his ass. Also, unfortunately for Hyakkimaru, he is blind as fuck and literally cannot see this thing. So Dororo decides decides to jump on it, make a bunch of noise so Hyakkimaru could know where this thing is. Ladies and gentlemen, this has to be the bravest little girl in anime I have ever seen. Because I, as a grown-ass man, would see this thing and run my ass away, bro. Like, I'm not even getting close to this. Dororo's better than me. But the centipede made a break for it and knocked her out in the process. So her plan was stupid and didn't work. The centipede's coming, and Hyakkimaru's just here like... So bro gets knocked over, and he's still going. Junior Centipede hears this, because this guy's neither on the level of Senior or Sage Centipede. Anywho, he hears this man screaming and decides to attack, which Hyakkimaru ended up blocking, while still screaming like a madman. Now the reason he's doing all this screaming is to wake up Dororo, to which she did from all his screaming, and helped him out by telling him where the eye is. And Hyakkimaru, being the legend that he is, immediately lands a critical hit, and the centipede was going down. But don't start celebrating yet, because then another head comes out of nowhere, chomping on this nigga. But turns out that was the worst mistake this thing could have made, because Hyakkimaru just sliced it up from the inside. And that was the end of Baby Centipede, everybody. After all that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a nose. Now my dog can smell all the flowers he want, if you know what I mean. Anywho, the next demon he decides to fight is in the middle of the water. But unlike Mihawk, who could push a boat with his aura alone, Hyakkimaru had to use a paddle. Lame. Anywho, Mothra decides to pull up to square up against Hyakkimaru. Like, bro, don't you have anything better to do, like helping Godzilla or something? Anywho, it picked him up to fly away with him. So Hyakkimaru decides to set that bastard on fire, burning that nigga to ashes. And ladies and gentlemen, my dog finally grew a spine. Yo, like, these demons took everything from this dude. Dog didn't even have a spine when he was born. That's crazy, bro. Oh my goodness. That means throughout all these other fights, bro never had a real spine. That is absolutely insane. Anywho, Buddy didn't have enough of the water, so he decides to fight Jeff the land shark next. Bro got his peg leg chomped on and broken, so he stabbed her in the fucking eye with it. Jeff starts jumping and running all over the place, so Hyakkimaru goes to stab Central. Eventually, he gets a final stab in and digging it deep, putting Jeff out of his misery and saving everybody in Marvel Rivals the trouble of dealing with this little menace. Anywho, Hyakkimaru is finally speaking. I regret to inform you guys, he's already trying to riz up this little girl. And bro ended up getting his left leg from that fight, by the way. Next time we see him, he's fighting his younger brother, who has a fucking third eye, which is an indication that there's a demon inside of him. Now, these two ended up squabbling with this Pokemon. One got their head bitten off, the other one the back kick of doom. Even though these niggas were dead, they somehow still managed to kill this horse. But from the death of the horse, Hyakkimaru gains his hand. So this man grabs some swords and starts fighting his brother, while the swords are cutting his hand. By the way, this is all out of order, so I don't want to hear,
oh my god, JP, he actually got his left nutsack before he got his legs.
I don't care. The video I'm getting this from is out of order, so it is what it is, bruh. Anywho, dude starts squaring up with his brother, and them niggas was going band for band, fighting in the middle of a fire. And then bro starts getting flashbacks of his servants that got cooked by that horse, so he gets more mad. Bro took every single thing that Hyakkimaru does as a personal offense. Mans even got mad that he was getting blood on the floor. They ended up outside arguing about whose castle it is, while that shit burns to the ground. And the brother continues yapping while fighting, saying that everything here is his, and that Hyakkimaru was never here. Other than the fact that he was literally tossed out as a armless, skinless, anythingless baby. Anywho, bro's so mad, he rushes the nigga and push him off the balcony, falling down several floors. But that shit ain't stopped him from fighting. Hyakkimaru cut his forehead and got the boot to the stomach special in return. They continue fighting throughout this entire big ass house, sword swinging like madmen. And not gonna lie, bro, they are equal in power, until Hyakkimaru pushes him off, some dust blind his ass, and bro almost got his head chopped off. Luckily, Hyakkimaru only got the sword, and Mans was flabbergasted. He's like, why didn't you kill me? And here comes Hyakkimaru with the we're not too different, you and I, saying he didn't kill him because he's human. And finally, the brothers were gonna make peace. But the last demon wasn't having this, bro. He's all here for the beef and hatred. So he takes over Tahomaru's body to continue squaring up. But Tahomaru was not about to go out like that. So he pulls a classic Uchiha move and literally yoinked the two eyes out to give them to Hyakkimaru. Finally having his eyes, and the last demon revealing his location, Hyakkimaru goes to stab Central, finally getting all his body parts back. And now that he has his eyes, time to spit game at the whoa. Yeah, nah. By the way, I never mentioned how much of a banger the OP is. It's made by Queen Bee, the same band who made the OP for Undead Unluck. Now, before I leave, I want to let you guys know I am trapped in Omi's basement, and he said he won't let me go unless I make a One Piece video, which he calls Peak. So yeah, until you guys get that video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys whenever Omi lets me out. Bye.